Welcome to Airailimages Video Magazine number 22. I'm Fred Johnson and I'll be your host. This is a special edition, a tribute to the Lockheed T-33 Shooting Star jet trainer. The T-33 was built from 1948 to 1959 and served the Air Force well into the 1980s. The T-33s of McChord Air Force Base were a tradition spanning many years. I had an opportunity to fly with these shiny shooting stars of the 318th Fighter Interceptor Squadron on October 13, 1976. During startup of the venerable Allison J33 turbojet, a flame briefly blossoms and then disappears. It was a moderate fall day in Puget Sound with some low patches of fog giving way to brilliant sunshine around Mount Rainier. My pilot, Captain Ken Durdaller, and I were in the lead aircraft of a two-ship flight that practiced a tight takeoff, much like these flyers would do in F-106 interceptors. The 318th kept a roster of 5 T-33s on hand to serve as targets for the squadron's 106s. Not to be shot at, but to be tracked and found and electronically taken out of the fight as if a live missile had been launched. The T-33s would range as far as 80 miles out to sea, making approaches to the Washington and Oregon coastlines as the F-106s scrambled to intercept them. My flight was an uncontested sortie around Mount Rainier that provided opportunities for these photos. With Mount Rainier in the foreground, Mount Adams loomed in the distance as a T-33 wheeled overhead. Sit back and imagine what it was like to fly in this classic jet. The cockpit can feel cramped if you're over 6 feet tall and have to keep feet off the rudder pedals and knees away from the stick while taking photos. The oxygen mask emits a unique essence and the sun glints from various angles as the jet maneuvers. Thousands of Air Force pilots experienced the T-33 in training and later in jobs like this. It wasn't until I had developed the rolls of black and white film that I realized the T-bird I was photographing held a curious secret. The National Star insignia on the lower side of the wing had been applied backwards. That's something a model builder would enjoy doing, with photographic proof to back it up. The T-33 served as a test and training aircraft for test pilots at Edwards Air Force Base, as seen in these spin flights from the late 1950s. This T-33A, number 53-5540, is part of the Flight Test Museum collection at Edwards Air Force Base. And here's the last T-33 built for the U.S. Air Force. It was saved for display by the McCord Air Museum in Washington State. And that wraps it up for Airailimages Video Magazine number 22. Thanks for watching.